The news initially sounded like small whispers among observers of the Korean entertainment industry. Not officially announced, not exhibited via social media, never even openly discussed by the owner. But slowly, the pieces of the story begin to connect, and one surprising conclusion comes to the fore. Jungkook's home facility, BTS's Golden Magne, is said to be more luxurious and more personal than the residences of the top executives of the K-pop industry. Not just a successful artist's home, but a living space that reflects the long journeys, wounds, hard work and need for tranquility that he has never really had. Jungkook is not a foreign name on the list of the most influential artists in the world. It is not just an idol but a symbol. From a young age, his life was filled with schedules, camera highlights, and public expectations that barely gave him breathing space. When BTS went global, many thought Jungkook's personal life was wide open. The reality is quite the opposite. The bigger the name, the more tightly it closes the most personal things, including about the house. Because for Jungkook, home is not just a property, but the only place where he can truly be himself without any demands. A source from Interior and Luxury Properties who declined to be named revealed that Jungkook's house was designed not with an approach of showing off wealth, but with a philosophy of extreme comfort. Each space is said to be adapted to a rhythm of life that is not normal when compared to most humans. A bedroom with a high-level soundproofing system, not for the sake of sheer luxury, but so that he can sleep undisturbed by the outside world after hours of being under the spotlight. The lighting is set soft and adaptive, adjusting physical and emotional conditions, something that is rarely even found in the homes of great CEOs. What surprised many was not only the expensive technology or materials, but the way the house breathes. There is a special space dedicated to music, not just a recording studio, but a reflection room. There, according to the story, Jungkook could sing without a microphone, without recording, just for himself. The acoustics are designed so that the sound returns to the ear with a warm, rather than cold echo. This is not a facility to produce commercial works, but to maintain the sanity of a person who since adolescence must always look perfect. Even when compared to the homes of entertainment industry executives who are synonymous with cold luxury and rigid design, Jungkook's residence is called much more lively. There is a private gym that is not just a luxury gym, but a recovery room. Special flooring to reduce joint pressure. An air circulation system designed so that the body quickly recovers after strenuous exercise or a long concert. These details show that the house was built by someone who really understands physical and mental fatigue, not just wanting to look exclusive. Another thing that left the public speechless was the news about the family room. Not excessive spacious, nor full of expensive ornaments. It is simple, warm, and feels like an ordinary home. Many believe this space was deliberately created so because Jungkook grew up in a simple family, and it was there that his memory was strongest. In the midst of the luxury that he could have, he chose to bring back the sense of security that he might have rarely felt when he had to leave home at a very young age to pursue a dream. Some industry observers even refer to Jungkook's house as a healing house instead of a show-off house. If a K-pop executive's house is built to show status, Jungkook's house is built to protect the soul. There is a high level of security system, but it is almost invisible. Not a high fence is striking, but rather a silent technology that works behind the scenes. This seems to reflect Jungkook's own personality, strong, disciplined, but does not like to show it openly. Interestingly, all these luxuries he almost never touched on in public. No house tours, no uploads of interior details, no excessive pride. It is precisely from silence that speculation develops. Many eventually realized that Jungkook was not building a home for the world, but to survive emotionally amid the never-ending global pressures. In this context, the comparison with the homes of industry executives feels reasonable. They went home after work set artists. Jungkook returns home after becoming the center of world attention. The house is also said to have a special room for the family. Not just a guest room, but a space prepared with great care. Many believe this is a form of Jungkook's responsibility to the people who have always been behind him from the beginning, especially the family who watched his struggle from scratch. Here, luxury is not about the price of furniture, but about intentions. The intention to give a sense of security to those who used to give everything without the spotlight. As the news spread, the public reaction was divided. Some are amazed, some are moved, and not a few finally understand one important thing. Jungkook is not just an idol with a huge income, but a human being who built his own fortress after living too long without protection. If the house is indeed more luxurious than the property of K-pop executives, then the luxury is not a form of vanity, but compensation for years of fatigue that has never been seen on camera. In the end, the revelation of the story about Jungkook's house facility actually opens up another side of the figure who has been perfectly known on stage. Behind the searchlights, the shouts of fans, and global achievements, there is a young man who chooses silence, works hard, and creates a safe space for himself. The house is not a symbol of power, but rather proof that even the biggest stars still need a place to go home, breathe, and feel whole as a person. The continuation of this story actually opens up a layer that has rarely been touched by the public. The more people in the industry who dare to speak vaguely, the clearer it becomes that Jungkook's home is not just the result of financial success, but a map of a life journey built slowly, with full awareness of past wounds. There is one sentence that is repeatedly heard from those who know the details, that the house feels like the place where one finally stops running. Out in the K-pop world, fatigue is often disguised with a smile, and sadness is wrapped in professionalism. Jungkook is one of the longest-lived in that pattern. From adolescence, he learns to endure pain, postpone personal desires, and replace youth with great responsibility. So do not be surprised if in his house, there is a quiet room that is deliberately made without a clear function. Not a studio, not a gym, not a living room. Just an empty space with large windows and natural light. According to the story, this space was left almost without furniture so that he could sit, be silent, and hear his own thoughts. A luxury that is almost impossible to have when life is always set on a schedule. Another small detail left many people speechless. Jungkook's home kitchen is said to be designed very personally, not in the style of a luxury restaurant, but a functional, ordinary home kitchen. This contrasts with industrial executive home kitchens, which are often grandly made but rarely used. Jungkook is known to enjoy simple moments such as cooking or preparing his own drinks. This is where the public begins to understand that the definition of more luxurious in the context of Jungkook's home is not a matter of size or price, but rather about the freedom to use that space completely without anyone's rules. Some sources also call the existence of extreme privacy systems designed not to get away from the world, but rather to control how much the world can enter. There are no large windows facing the main street, no angles that allow outside cameras to capture the activity in the house. This is different from other elite residences that actually use the panorama as a status symbol. For Jungkook, privacy is the ultimate luxury, something that even money can hardly buy at the peak of global popularity. Interestingly, this house is not filled with symbols of achievement. No flashy trophy-line displays, no walls full of award certificates. If anything, everything is kept quiet, almost hidden. This seems to confirm one thing that those closest to him have often expressed, that Jungkook was never really attached to external recognition. He works hard not to show off the results, but because he feels responsible for the dreams he once uttered as a child. Comparisons to the homes of K-pop executives are increasingly ironic. Many of them lived in stately dwellings, full of symbols of power, but emotionally cold. Jungkook's house is just the opposite. Warm, personal, and full of pause. A place that seemed to say that he had seen enough of the world, and now just wanted to be at peace with himself. In this context, the luxury of Jungkook's house becomes a narrative about humanity, not social hierarchy. The public began to reread Jungkook's figure from a different point of view. He is not only the center of attention of BTS, not just a global icon with millions of fans, but an individual who is well aware of his limits as a human being. The house is proof that behind the incredible stamina on stage, there is a consciousness of protecting oneself from the slow destruction that often afflicts public figures.